everybody. Ooh, it's very
good sound waves
lots
today.
Of sound waves. That's exciting.
Welcome to
Mind Body Stuff.
I'm Kali.
I'm Bernice.
We took a week off because my partner in crime here was. Where were you?
I was in Hawaii.
Oh my gosh, we're all so surprised.
But I'm from there, as you know. It's like going home to Chicago. If you
were
live
there a
in
month
Chicago.
ago. No one goes back to Chicago every month.
Yeah, they do. Some people
they don't.
Do. Yeah, they do. Well, how about you? You people do, don't you?
You go back. Do you go back to where you grew up once a month? Huh?
It's problematic.
How many people of you out there go back to where you grew up once a month?
Well, last month was difficult because it was a wedding. It was a lot of work.
It was very difficult,
It was
wasn't
difficult.
it?
I had to party and throw a party. It was a lot of work. And now I just got to
horrible.
Lay around and make dinner for my mom.
That's nice, though. But your mommy is old, and it's very important.
She is old. She's 93, everyone.
I completely understand why you do it. I just have to give you a little bit of
grace.
Grace. Slack, grace.
Which kind of segues into what we want to talk about today.
It does. About
leadership and being brave and dealing with our own fear at the same time.
Yeah, that kind of, is it, what did you say, dichotomy?
A dichotomy,
the fear
yeah.
And the fear and the bravery that leadership requires.
Yes.
And I think also, just leadership of our own lives. I don't feel like you have to be in a powerful position or that you have to, I don't know, have a big following to consider yourself a leader. You know?
I think we get confused with that term. I have to be head of the PTA or running for Senate or, to be a leader. But we are leaders in our own lives, whatever we do at work or with our children or with our partners, we have to lead occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if we can all step into our role as leaders, then we feel like we have a little bit more, maybe not control of our lives, but that we feel that sense of pull and that movement in a direction. And I think it also makes us, almost take our actions more seriously if we think
that we're leaders.
Terms.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, because it's if not, then it's easier to be like, oh, this doesn't matter. It doesn't, no one cares what I'm doing. Whatever.
Right. I just cleaned the house for the 5th time. It doesn't matter.
But when we can think about our actions in the term or in the sense of being leaders.
Mm-hmm. And I love the for me anyway, and maybe for you too, that sometimes when I find something uncomfortable, I tend to be like, well, that must be wrong.
Oh, totally.
I probably shouldn't do that. It's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it does elicit a fear, sort of like, well, it's uncomfortable. It makes me fearful, so I probably won't do it. Mm-hmm. And that's not always the case.
Right. I totally agree. I feel like, well, I was hoping you would wish me happy birthday on this podcast, but I guess I'm going to have to mention to myself that it's my birthday today.
Whose birthday is it? Kali Lindner. Kali Lindner, it's your birthday.
Well, thank you so much. Did you say happy birthday or did you just announce it's my birthday?
I announced it's her birthday.
I'm sitting in front of a beautiful balloon and flower arrangement and caramels. You have been very sweet to me on my birthday.
Happy birthday, Kali.
Thank you.
Another year older, another year wiser.
And let's hope so. Sometimes I'm not so sure about that.
We both struggle with that.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think everyone struggles with that. But it's so interesting kind of how we decide what we want to talk about in these podcasts and then just briefly, I don't know, just generate some ideas. But I made a post in the community page last night about my experience teaching ULA 1 last night. And it was basically right at the same time that Bernice then texted me being like, oh, let's talk about leadership and the fear and bravery required in being a leader. And it was just so perfect because what I was talking about last night in my class and what I was experiencing was sometimes just for those of you who do instruct, or maybe even for those of you who don't instruct, but you can almost be a witness to your own experience.
When you're teaching.
Yeah. Or probably even taking class too. I'm sure that happens. You almost just can feel, you can just be a witness to the experience. And I was witnessing myself teaching last night, and just the things that I was saying and encouraging of the different people who were in class with me, and the ways that, I was speaking to them and to myself about loving these different parts of our bodies and forgiving ourselves and being gentle and resting when we need to, and all these different things. And I just felt so calm. I felt so centered. I felt so grounded. I felt so peaceful, all of these things. And it was totally true and real. And in that moment, that's exactly how I felt. But then my self-doubt started to creep in as a leader. And I started to think, well, who am I? Who am I to sit at the front of this room and cue these different ways in which for people to be in their thoughts and in their bodies? And who am I to talk like I have any idea how to do any of this stuff myself? And it was a really interesting just kind of moment when I was reflecting on class, witnessing it, and then when I went home and reflected on it afterwards, and just thinking about, like, we all struggle, we all are human, we all have this dichotomy again of this fear and this bravery of the way in which we want to be, we strive to be, we keep over and over and over trying to be, and accepting ourselves for not always being that, but to keep coming back to that discomfort, keep coming back to how you want to be in this world, and not beating yourself up because you're not always that.
Yeah, and keep staying curious about those feelings that you have.
Yeah.
And that we're always, I love how when sometimes before I teach class, I have this dichotomy where I'm just like, I'm not worthy.
Oh, totally.
I can't really teach the class. And then I have a lot of fear based around it. I shouldn't be doing it. Probably Jane should be doing the class instead of me. That would be better. And then having the bravery to step in front and just do it anyway, even though that internal language is quite negative and quite fearful. But then in the middle of class, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do.
Right.
And I feel so in harmony with everybody in the class. So I just love that whole experiment of, like, pushing yourself to the edge, and then you're like, should I go? Maybe I shouldn't. Should I go? And then you do it sometimes and you're like, ooh, I flew.
Right.
Like, that was pretty cool.
Right.
But how many times do we get to the edge and we're like, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. Don't do it.
Totally.
I love this quote. I sent it to Kaylee last night from Brene Brown wrote.
From her new book, Daring to Lead. Isn't that what it's
called?
It
is from her new book, Daring to Lead.
I want to download it because I don't read books
Dare
anymore.
to Lead. This is on page 272. As you think about your own path to daring leadership, remember what Kaylee's saying. Leadership isn't necessarily being a senator or whatever, CEO. It's leadership in your own personal life, however you envision that. Remember Joseph Campbell's wisdom. He said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Own the fear, find the cave, and write a new ending for yourself, for the people you're meant to serve and support, and for your culture. Choose courage over comfort, choose whole hearts over armor, and choose the great adventure of being brave and afraid, all at the exact same time.
I love that.
I just love that.
The great adventure. And I think that's what it comes down to. It's like so many times when I get stuck in my head, and with this job, there are many times that I do put myself in a position or find myself I put myself there. Put myself in a position of leadership.
Yes.
Of leader.
Well, you are the leader.
But still, but I guess what I'm trying to say is,
but you risk quite a bit.
It scares me every time that I do it. And I will wake myself up in the middle of the night being like, why the hell do you think you can do this? Mm-hmm. But I think that that last sentence about it being a great adventure is totally, at least it resonates with me, how to think about being in that position of, it's an adventure, it's scary, it's thrilling, it's humbling, it's
tiring,
it's eye-opening,
it's exciting,
it's it's so many things. But if we feel that fear and then just walk backwards because that fear overwhelms us, then we don't live up to our potential. And I also like how she mentioned about how are we going to serve others? How are we going to serve our culture, our whatever else she said in that. And that's the thing. It's like, how are we supposed to serve to our highest ability when we let the fear take over, when the fear always wins?
That's so true. And I'm a creature of habit, so I don't necessarily like change. But you know what? Every time, or not every time, but isn't it like we risk a lot when we change things the way that people are used to things being done?
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
But that's how things grow.
Mm-hmm.
That's how things metamorphosize. And that and metamorphosis isn't always pleasant.
It hardly ever is pleasant.
Like,
when is that going to feel good? You're like shedding your skin. For the caterpillar to turn into, and I've seen that. You guys, have you seen the caterpillar do it? My friend's mom raises them in New Zealand. She does it she's there in our winter time. Yeah. Their summer. And she raises caterpillars into butterflies. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Anyway, she has these slow-mo videos of them.
Sure.
And at first I'm like, oh my God, it's like eating itself. Or it looks really weird in the cocoon. Like it's all like, blah, 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 and like weird stuff happening and like a skin kind of shedding. And then it looks almost mucusy for a little bit.
Oh my God.
And you guys who do caterpillars are going to give me a hard time, but I don't care. But, and then suddenly it's this butterfly, but it looked totally painful and tiring and quite a bit of work.
So much work.
But I'm like,
and it's
oh my goodness,
pretty.
Then this beautiful butterfly comes out. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like it's the same way. This is a beautiful adventure we have with life.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I don't want to go past the fear because I'm like, oh, it's going to hurt. I know it's going to hurt, or I'm going to have to like confront something. Maybe I'll lose some friends. Maybe I'll end up doing something else, something maybe I don't want to do. I don't know.
Totally.
But if we don't risk, if we don't face the fear and say, with bravery, and say, yes.
Yep.
Yes, I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, it's the great adventure. It's the excitement. It's the tiresomeness. It's the joy. It's the sadness.
Well, and this is life, baby.
This is
life.
I know, and it's so easy for me. Somebody's like, I just could sit in my house all day alone.
Yeah, I mean, because that's safe and it's comfortable, and and I could too. There's definitely a part of me that, like, at least one time a day, I'm like, man, what would my life be if this is just what it was? I
know. I'm like, I just like wake up, have some coffee, take the kid to school. Maybe I'd write a romance novel.
Oh, you'd be good at that.
But even that would be risky because, of course, then I write it and then you turn it in and people don't like it.
And so it's scary.
That's still a risk.
But like, what else are we supposed to be doing than trying and learning and failing and growing? I mean, isn't this what life is all about? Taking risks and going on adventures and loving and learning. And I don't know what else we're supposed to be doing than living our life to the fullest.
Yes.
And that is going to include a lot of fear.
A lot of fear and a lot of bravery.
And I was just thinking, bravery.
How much bravery do we use every day?
Oh, that is such a good question. I wonder. Some days definitely more than others. But like even with Ula, we're going through a business transition right now that is totally like, it's requiring bravery and it's requiring an embrace of the fear of what the unknown will bring, with changing our certification process and making the process easier to become an instructor. And I know that there's a lot of people who are questioning our decision out there, but again, it's like we have thought about this and we feel like it's what's right. And you know what? It may not be the right decision.
Right.
But in order for the business to grow in the ways in which I really want it to, and I talked about this in a podcast, but this woman, I'm not going to name her name, but I hope if you're listening, and I know you listen to this podcast, I hope you know it's you said something in the Twin Cities and it completely shifted something inside of me. And I thought, I don't know if Ula is able to reach all of the people that it can reach because of the way our certification process is set up. And I want people to use Ula in conjunction with their gifts and the way that their heart wants to serve in this world. And I want Ula to be a part of that for those who want to do that. And so basically like reducing the amount of restrictions that we put on certification, I think is going to enable people to, I don't know, to work through it all at their own pace, to not feel the pressure of this looming deadline. They are still going to be faced with bravery, and they're still going to be faced with fear.
Oh, yes.
It is scary at no matter what stage, even if you've, gone through a certification process and had your audition reviewed, no matter what, when you stand up in front of a room of people to teach this class, it is still requiring you to embrace your bravery and your fear. And that doesn't change no matter how the certification process is set up. Every single training program I've been through has never required any sort of audition or review or anything like that. And I've been terrified to teach every single thing I've ever taught. And I still get scared to teach ULA at times.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, how healthy is that to put ourselves in those positions? How healthy that we are reconnecting with our bravery.
I remember asking my dad about that, like when I was in my 40s, and I'm like, this is really hard. Like, this life is hard, this living. And it wasn't even that hard, but we were struggling financially and with the kids, and we had an adopted kid move in, and just a lot of stuff was happening. And I felt like,
yeah.
And he just looked at me. He was like, but when would be a better time? Mm-hmm. When would be a better time to be doing this? Do you want to do it when you're 60?
Right.
Do you want to do it when you're 20? Do you want to do it when you're 80? He's like, this is your time.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's not always supposed to be, roses and daffodils.
Right.
And that's what makes life worth living, I think.
I totally agree. And I think maybe if we all just think back to the times in our life of the greatest growth and of the greatest self-exploration and realization and evolution, at least for me, I'm guessing most of you would agree too, that it was during those times of challenge, those times that we've confronted up against our edge and somehow had to push past that, push through that, show ourselves that we are capable, that we are able, that we are strong enough to do these difficult things that are presented to us. And oh my gosh, the world that opens because we were able to move that boundary or that edge just a little bit further. What opens up to us is this whole other world. It's amazing.
And even sitting with the discomfort of the stress. For me, it was like almost like, I don't want to sit with it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
He was like, but when else would you do it? Like, this is your time. This is your time to hold it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like someone just telling me like, okay, you can do it. Yeah. But not saying like, you can do it. More like, yeah, just sit with it. We all do it.
Yeah.
And it just gave me that sense of sometimes you just have to sit with your fear almost. And then you have that sense of bravery maybe later,
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I'll sit with it. And then suddenly I was like, I'm not dying here. You know, I was like, what's the worst thing that's going to... I'm alive! Yes! Thrashing around, breaking through. And then suddenly I could take some steps forward. Right. But I was almost so frozen about having to just sit with all that stress. Like, I just can't do it. I'm drowning. And it is like, go into the cave.
Right.
Go into the cave. Mm-hmm. Sit with the fear. You've got the bravery. Step forward. Shine the light. And let yourself experience what it needs to experience in this process.
Well, and two things that I like to do when I'm trying to understand my fear. Mm-hmm. The first one is to actually realize what my greatest fear coming true would look like. Mm-hmm. So, like, even just going back to our certification process, I'm like, okay, what is the worst case scenario? Mm-hmm. Okay, so playing that out in my head and being like, okay, well, no one's going to die from that. Everything can be fixed with some corrections or some adjustments or some, tweaking here or there. What else? Okay, so, and then maybe just taking like a real life well, that is real life as well, but a personal life situation. So everyone just maybe think about what's holding you back from a decision or from an action or moving in a direction. Like, what is the fear? Take a really good look at the fear. Don't be afraid of the fear.
Yes, that's a double fear.
Yeah, that's a double fear.
You're double fearing yourself.
Totally.
We have double shaming, we have double fearing.
You just, get yourself two middle fingers.
Right, exactly.
Just imagine that worst thing would happen and then see how bad it actually is. Because for me, I'm like, oh, you know what? That's not actually that bad. Okay, what if I don't talk to people at parties because my fear is that no one will talk to me back, or they'll walk away, or they'll think I'm stupid. Well, okay, but I'm not going to die from that.
No.
It's not, it's like the usually, and for me, it's not like usually massive situations. It's smaller things. Like, what am I afraid of in this situation? Why am I not connecting with that person? Why am I not, whatever it is? And then just imagine that fear. The next exercise that I like to do is ask myself, is this going to matter in a year? Am I even going to think about this in a year or 5 years or whatever?
That's a very good, like a time duration type thing.
But I like the 1 year one.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I really going to care about this in a year?
Right.
Is this going to be an issue for me a year from now?
Right.
And, then even just having the bravery to play out what that may look like.
Yeah, and you're right. I think I love that idea and sort of being practical with it, too. That's sort of the shining of the light in the cave, I think.
Totally.
Like, turn the light on, and what's in the cave?
Look at it.
What is it?
Just take a look
at it.
Now,
what happens if this happens for a year?
Yeah.
Even with the certification process, you can always change it.
You can change it.
It's not written in blood somewhere.
It's not like someone's going to, take my child and, murder them.
I'm sorry,
if
they ran off with Huxley. They did not like the certification process.
Okay, well, as long as that doesn't happen.
Right.
It's not going to be the end of the world.
Right.
We can fix it.
Right.
And
even for me, in terms of taking that step with the fear and the bravery in terms of the certification process, I just feel like we owe the world ULA.
That's what
We owe the world ULA. And the problem is, our certification process is very good. It's very, what's the word? Thorough. That's the word. Very thorough, which is awesome. But unfortunately, we only get so many people certified.
Exactly.
And I want more and more people certified because someone over in Milwaukee right now is wishing she's doing an ULA class.
Right.
But she just doesn't even know it exists.
Totally.
And don't you think I feel like in terms of what Brene Brown said and what we owe our culture and what we owe our people, if we have this gift and this wonderful product to share, why don't we share it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's share it.
Yeah.
You share it in Ohio. You share it in Nebraska. You share it in Maine.
Yeah.
You share it in Japan.
Yeah.
But just make it more and more accessible.
Well, and I think as far as this whole fear and bravery thing goes, I'm sorry I keep burping. I'm very pregnant.
They couldn't even tell. Now you just let them know you're a burper.
I keep pausing. I'm like, oh.
She's very pregnant, and Frankie's kind of jamming her up in the.
And I ate a big old bagel.
Bagel with cream cheese. Yum yum.
And a cookie.
And a delicious cookie.
What was I saying before food?
You said something about burping.
And before that, I remember what I was going to say. This fear and this bravery thing. So. This whole 3 months where people have until they need to send in their certification video, usually they leave training with the bravery totally conquering the fear, and they feel on top of the world.
Oh, this is good.
And then by the time those 3 months creep by, it's like the fear has overtaken the bravery, and then they decide not to certify. And we lose so many people in that process between the high and the bravery and the empowerment they feel during the weekend to when their video is due. And it breaks my heart. It honestly does, because for me, I watch that happen in so many people, and I wish that I could say like, oh, you've got this still though. You've got this, but the fear has won basically. And then when you put this definitive timeline on something where they know they're going to be reviewed, it just adds to the fear. It's adding fuel to the fire of their fear.
Yes.
And I just want to take that out. Does it mean they're going to be ready to teach? No, absolutely not. Are they going to have to work just as hard as if they were going to send in a video? 100% yes. Mm-hmm. They're still going to have to put the work in. From a financial standpoint, and it doesn't make sense that we are not only training, but also then making sure that all of our instructors are hire worthy at gyms that don't have a financial relationship back with us. So we're doing double the work for a situation that really just isn't allowing us to thrive as a business. And so of course we care just as much about the people who go through our certification process, but I think that we're just holding them back. Mm-hmm. I think we're holding them back from their true potential and their true ability to reach others with the way that this is set up. Now, we could be wrong.
Mm-hmm, we could be.
You and I could be very wrong about this.
And we've been wrong before.
It has happened.
It has happened. It's rare, but it does happen.
I'd like to say it doesn't happen often, but it has happened. And we'll figure it out because we're smart people and we can adjust the ship.
Yeah, and we like to learn. That's the other thing about, you got to take risks. And when you take risks, you're going to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And if we only want a positive outcome every time, then you're only going to do 3 things in your life. Yeah, probably.
It's going to be super safe.
Super safe.
And you're going to get bored. Everyone else is going to get bored.
Right. And you're
not going to learn.
But I did succeed in that
one
little area.
You're not going to grow.
Yeah, so we're going to have to make mistakes.
Boring.
Yeah. Boring. But there's not a lot of fear there, which is nice.
No, that's pleasant. That's a pleasant feeling.
I wouldn't mind that, sitting on my porch, just kind of drinking my tea and not having to interact with anybody or challenge myself. I'd actually have to talk to people today.
Right.
Or
that's a challenging one for me sometimes.
Yeah, me too. The talking to people. Even, having people depend on you.
Oh, totally.
I'm all like, oh no, someone's depending on me.
It's interesting because as I've been thinking about my birthday and just the intentions for this year moving forward, a lot of what I am thinking about is just personally and then also professionally. And it's really interesting because I feel like before ULA, Rob and I traveled all the time. Like we were always like traveling. I liked to be able to kind of get out of anything pretty quickly. And the feeling of people depending on me, relying on me, needing me, it's actually, that for me is very scary. So I get a lot of fear when I feel like I don't have a way out. If I don't have like I always like to have an exit strategy. Mm-hmm. I like to know that I can get out of situations.
Right.
And actually commitment to things, not to Rob, like I'm very happily committed to him or my family, but I do have a commitment is scary to me. Like the fact that we're still doing ULA all these years later, that is a big deal for me. Yeah. Like there have been many times, you too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I usually leave stuff.
I usually leave stuff too.
And I think it's a fear of failure or success. It's something
I
where,
have no idea what that is.
If you're successful, then more people depend on you.
Right.
I think.
And well, and then I think, yes, sorry to interrupt you. You guys, when I listen back to this podcast, I always interrupt Bernice. I'm sure you guys are like, shut up.
I don't even notice it. She's always like, and then I interrupted you. I'm like, I didn't even notice it.
Well, I'm trying to be a better active listener.
Oh, good job. We worked on that in Tulum.
I learned so much about myself in Tulum.
It was really good. We're working on active listening.
So I'm going to try not to interrupt you. But I think what you and I both fear is that the success then it like grabs us even tighter.
Yes, and like, then you can't get out at all.
Yes, it's not a fear of success. It's a fear of being stuck in something trapped. And you can't figure out how to get out of it.
Right. Yeah, I do have that. Right when you said it, I started to feel that anxiety like in my chest.
I think you and I both have that same thing.
So then for us, I like to be able to leave. Like you were saying, just exit.
Yes.
Especially if it starts to go well. Then I'm always like, well, I probably should leave now.
Leave it on a good note.
Oh,
totally.
Don't want to disappoint anyone.
Yeah.
Don't want to even expect anything from me.
Totally. I'm the exact same way. I'm like, I'd rather leave this on a good note. Yes. So maybe now's the time.
Because, of course, the more you do something, the more successful it gets, the more people kind of expect more from you.
Yeah.
And also there's more potential for letting people down, too.
Absolutely.
Because then you get more and more people, and then half people are like, I didn't like what you said. And I'm like,
oh my gosh, we got the worst review on Google, Google Business. We got the worst review. Patty, if you're out there, you're not listening because you don't like this. You don't like ULA, so you're not going to listen to our podcast. She left a 1-star rating. And she wrote this big, huge thing. And I wrote back this big, huge thing back to her. And, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I already have gotten into it. I'm sorry to drag you into this drama with me. But isn't it interesting how, one negative feedback seems to carry
versus
more weight.
Thousands of positive feedback.
I know. She's like, well, I just have some suggestions and some tweaks. I'm like, well, then if you really felt that way, you would have contacted me personally rather than write a public negative review. Obviously, you were trying to do harm to my business, not actually try to give me any sort of constructive criticism as to how to improve. But anyways, then we stopped it at that. But it is interesting that the bigger you get and the more people who are in contact with whatever you're doing, you are opening yourself up to more criticism, to failure, to judgment, to people who don't like you. And I think that's another big source of fear. Especially for women. I think as women, we really want to please. We want to be pleasing. And we want
people to like us. There's something about liking us. I'm not sure where that comes from.
And I think that a lot of the reasons that we hold ourselves back in situations are because we're afraid that people won't like us. We're afraid to show our true, biggest, boldest self because what if people don't like it? Or we're afraid to open that business because what if people don't like it?
What if you share your opinion and then the people don't like it, and then you're like, totally. Oh no, I didn't mean to offend you.
No one's gonna invite me over to book club.
No, I knew that was gonna happen. I know. I just think of I'm gonna name drop as I should.
Let's hear it.
But I went to
Walter
school
Cronkite
with Barack Obama.
Oh,
Barry.
And
I just think of him now, and I just think, how would you even dare to run for president? Because of course, half the people hate you.
Oh, sure.
You're just exposed to
much
can you
imagine
hate.
How hard that would be.
So much hate. I know the guy. He was a nice guy, great guy. Love the guy. And I just thought, how do you have the courage to expose yourself to that much?
Yeah.
And of course, people that love you, and then people that just hate you, and then say the most degrading things about you.
The worst things about you.
Or your family, and I just think, how do you have the bravery to do something like that?
I don't think I could.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could.
I don't know if I would handle that very well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to be in therapy for a long time.
My husband would hate me.
I'd be in therapy during the office.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't meet right now with the heads of state. I'm in therapy. It's my therapy session. Going to be working on some positive self-talk today.
Gosh, seriously. It'd be so hard. But, I mean, how amazing the people who have that resiliency and that inner belief and strength. I think that you have
that drive to okay, I'm going to risk this. I'm going to go out there, and I know half people are going to hate me.
Well, either that drive or you just don't care.
Or you don't care. There's some people that don't care, I think. That are just sort of like, man, I don't really care.
I don't know. It's probably not my personality type, but I'm just too sensitive. I know that about myself. I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
So, but I think going back to the leadership and bravery and fear, so a couple of other things this year. Oh, going back to my birthday. Excuse me. Today it's my birthday.
It's Kaylee Linder's birthday today. Happy birthday, Kaylee. Did I say that yet to you? Happy birthday.
But I guess, okay, so I was saying Rob and I traveled a lot. Shut up. Rob and I traveled a lot, so this is a big deal. I'm still doing ULA.
Oh, we're getting back on topic here.
Yeah, now I'm getting back.
Love this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got political for a minute, and then
That's my fault.
You think? Oh, those were good sound waves when you laughed. They were very that was staccato.
Oh, beautiful.
Those are cool.
Anyway, pretty.
Another big thing that I'm afraid to do is we are putting an offer in on a piece of land to build a house, which you guys scares the SHIT out of me because, again, it's this commitment. What if we build this really amazing house that we want our family to come home to for the holidays with their children? I mean, this is what we're thinking about building long term, and that is very scary to me because that doesn't seem. I mean, of course we could sell it and move out, but it's okay,
you could sell it? What?
Shut up. But when you build your dream house, you don't want to build your dream house unless you're ready to kind of commit
and you're committing to a place.
You're committing to a place, and that all of these things are just very big things for me. I know that I have a fear of this type of stuff, and so I think 35 is my year of being just, going into that fear and that bravery and feeling that sense of direction with my life and sitting with the discomfort that both of those things bring up. The
making some commitments that probably trigger your fear.
They do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what if we just want to run away to the beach in Mexico? But it's like, well, you have 3 kids now.
Airplane ticket.
Okay, but you know what I mean. I'm not going to move down to the beach in Mexico.
Not. The problem is...
Yeah, but 10 years ago, Rob and I were like, oh, let's go open up a...
I'm going to help her now.
All right, let's hear it. What, do you think you are, a therapist? Jesus. Let's hear it, lady.
She's pregnant with her 3rd child.
What? That's why they pay you the big bucks.
I know, it's
right
a lot
there.
of money.
Wow.
I can tell. She's got a little
cool.
big baby bump going on. And I think there is a transition when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children. Suddenly you're like, whoa. And also, I did the same thing. Like when the babies were little, like when I first had Joe, I'm like, we could just travel the world. It's a baby. Look how easy it is.
Right.
And then we had Ev, and I'm like, still another baby. Like how fun. And then we had Sam.
Yeah.
And then by then Joe was like 5 or something or 4, and I was like, uh-oh,
it's getting hard
because now she goes to school. She's gonna be going to school soon. You know, that sort of feeling of like, oh, now she starts school, but I still have 2 babies. You know.
Yeah.
But suddenly it became like, oh.
Okay.
Then we go on the schedule where, not that you have to do that, of course people travel with grown children too, or older children, but there is that sort of feeling of like, we've got these children and now we are going to be in this place for at least probably 20 years.
Totally.
With these children.
Totally.
You know, so then
I
remember that was when we were like, I guess, and then we looked at each other like, is it somewhere in Missoula then?
Is this where we want to live?
Is this where it's going to be? Because we had just been living here, but we hadn't consciously said,
right,
yes, this is the place.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of where we are. Because Rob's always like, oh, maybe we should still move to London for a year. And I'm like, oh, maybe. You know, we have all of these things. But I think finally, we're both just like, we live here.
Yeah.
This is our home.
Yeah.
And this is where we want to be as well.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling more and more okay with that. But I am scared to build a house. And I am scared to make that type of a financial investment and commitment. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are scary.
Building, like you've said before, is stressful.
Yes.
That fear factor.
Well, then 3 small kids and trying to run a business.
And building
like
a
it's
house.
A lot.
That seems like a lot, yeah. But I always do things in big chunks.
You always
like
do,
that.
And you seem
I don't
like
know why.
You kind of
makes
turned
it more
okay.
fun.
You're a little wacko.
If it gets too boring, then I have to create some crisis like, let's buy and I'm like, oh, I have no money now. Why is that? Well, because you spent it all. Good job working, and then you spent it all. But that's another podcast, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh.
About addiction and spending and all that stuff.
Diamonds are forever.
But I do want to go back one last time to
Let's do it. Let's get back on topic one more time, shall we?
That
sounds nice.
Well, I love what you said. This is like resonating with me in terms of the trainings and the bravery versus fear factor in trainings. Because suddenly I was like, we call it Empowerment Weekend,
Yeah.
And they are so incredibly, they come in very fearful. Not everyone, but a lot of people come in very fearful because it's like you're going to dance and do. Who knows what you're going to do? You're
I would be fearful.
Any training,
fearful.
Yeah,
when you do a training, I'm like, oh,
yeah, and we're fearful when we do the training. Yeah, we're like, uh-oh, here we go again. I'm like, luckily it's not a workshop. She'll do most of the talking here.
That's not true.
But I love what you said in terms of like what was happening is we build them up and build them up and build them up, and they'd have all this bravery, on fire with bravery.
Yes.
And then suddenly we're like, and now you have 3 months.
And you're going to be reviewed. And it's going to be a really long email.
And people are going to watch you dance sometimes. You might even have mentors like kind of watching you and maybe
telling you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong.
Giving you feedback, and you're just like, I'm just trying to dance. But you said it so well. It's like they have all this bravery, and then suddenly we end them 3 months later with a tremendous amount of fear.
Right.
And that just seems counterintuitive to what we're trying to do for people.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to give them the fire to be brave, to be authentic, to be who they are, to live their true selves. And yet you give them 3 months and then they're like, yep, I have a lot of negative self-talk now.
Right. And you know what? Take as long as you need. Maybe it takes you 2 months. Maybe it takes you 12 months. Maybe it takes you 2 years to get to the point that you teach a full class on your own. Who cares?
Yes.
Who are we to decide how long it should take you to get to the point that you're ready to do that?
Yeah, it's a very good
point.
Know?
And so for me, there were very, very good reasons why we had this in place at the beginning, especially building a brand and creating quality control and just figuring out how this system works. But I also do have a fear of losing control, and I think that some of this is healthy for me to say, you know what? Maybe you don't have to be so in control of every single detail about how this rolls out for people. Why don't you let them roll it out in a way that works for them and see what can happen in their lives and the lives of their community through this process. And
the people they touch.
Yeah, and honestly, we all know it's not the best dancer. It's not who knows the choreography perfect. Those things that can be reviewed. Yes, of course we can give you helpful tips. Like, the review process is absolutely incredible and it will help you be a better instructor. But what makes an instructor really great is what they share of themselves through the experience. You can't train that, you can't teach that, you can't critique it, you can't review it. That just happens or it doesn't, and that it's not our job. That's not our job.
That's not our job. Yeah, and it's almost like time for the universe to step in. So it's almost like we're saying, trust yourselves.
Yes.
Trust your role in this place.
Yes.
Trust your thought. Trust who you are.
Yes.
And then we're like, but not really. But really now it is, yes, trust. And then trust in the universe and where you need to go with this.
Right.
In your own life. However that looks for you.
Right.
Not necessarily how we think it should look.
Right. And of course, there's still rules. They still have to follow the playlist curve and the top 10 and all that. That doesn't change. It's just hoping that they can walk away and continue on their journey with the bravery, understanding that the fear is always going to be there. The fear is always going to be there. I'm telling you, 8 years later, I still feel fear.
We're good at fear.
Yes, but I don't let it master me.
No.
And that's it's been such an incredible practice, I think, to be able to deal with that sense of fear and push through it.
Yes, it's not something we normally do in our lives.
I don't usually.
No.
Maybe other people do, but I don't. This is a place that I can consistently face fears and push through them.
I love that. And I want to end with this last piece.
Please do.
And choose the great adventure of being brave and afraid at the exact same time.
Beautiful.
Oh,
leave it to Brene.
Thank you, Brene.
She always does it.
That is awesome.
We love you guys. Keep leading in your own lives. It really matters.
Yes, and
it really does.
We love your comments. We love your feedback.
I will follow you. Follow you wherever you may go. We have a new page on our website. If you go to connect and then you click on that tab, you'll see Mind Body Stuff. You can subscribe to episodes, you can play the most recent episode, and now there is a forum for you guys to join the conversation with us, with each other, just anything you want to share there. So please hop on over there. Would love to continue this conversation with you all.
And continue to write your reviews on iTunes.
Oh yeah, that's super helpful.
Super helpful. It makes our podcast come up.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye-bye.